Should you buy a Steam Deck in 2025? This is the question of the video, and for all of you that like quick answers, the answer is yes.
Yes! Hell yeah!
But it depends. And for all of you that like more comprehensive answers and like to analyze all the ifs and the buts, no pun intended, you should stick around until the end of the video. I make no mystery about the fact that I really like the Steam Deck. And when I say Steam Deck, I mean the Steam Deck OLED. In fact, I purchased one mid-2024 and I really enjoy it. It has completely changed the way I game and actually the way I look at gaming. And coming from consoles, I now do over 80% of my gaming on the Steam Deck. By the way, if you want to see what I love about it, you can go and check out my Steam Deck OLED review up here somewhere. But to answer the question of whether you should get a Steam Deck OLED now, considering it is March 2025, requires a little bit of analysis. So let's dive into it and look at the different cases for and against it. And rather than giving you a one-size-fits-all answer, I want to break this down into different types of buyers, because obviously depending on your situation and on your budget, the answer might be very different. Let's start with the most budget-friendly way to get a Steam Deck, and that would be to get the original LCD. But is it still a good idea to get that in 2025? And if you are somebody who's very price conscious, yes, definitely, because if you shop around a little bit, you can probably get a used one for around $350 US. And if you look on the Steam website, currently you get the 256 version for $399 US. So in terms of price, that is definitely the cheapest way to get into handheld PC gaming. Same performance as the OLED model, by the way, so there is no difference in FPS or hardware. And the LCD is still fully supported by Valve. So you get all the SteamOS updates, game compatibility, and everything you get on the OLED. But what speaks against the LCD version? Well, and that is the fact that you've got the OLED out there with the OLED screen, which is a massive upgrade, at least in terms of screen, because you get much better colors, higher contrast, smoother 90 Hz refresh rate, better battery life. Some people say 20% or more longer gaming sessions, and it is a little bit lighter and more comfortable to hold. Personally, I've only seen the LCD version once, but I decided to go for the OLED just because of the screen. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to have, if I want to sell this at some point, I'm probably going to have a better resale value. But if you are budget concerned, and you want to have a cheap option that gives you everything, and especially if you're somebody who plays docked a lot, well then the LCD Steam Deck is absolutely a great deal. Second option, should you get a Steam Deck OLED? Now, if you're considering a Steam Deck in 2025, should you just go for the OLED? Let's look at some points for and some against the choice for the OLED. Now, first of all, the OLED screen is absolutely beautiful. Deep blacks, vibrant colors, much better motion clarity. As we said, it does have better battery life. Some people say 20 up to 50% more efficient than the LCD model. It's lighter, better balanced. It's got improved cooling, and you've got Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3 for better wireless connectivity. But there are some reasons that speak against it, and that is there is no performance difference to the LCD. So the APU is exactly the same, and if you play mostly docked, then the screen upgrade is not going to matter so much. And the LCD model is significantly cheaper depending which OLED you get. So the LCD is much more budget friendly, and in general there are more powerful options out there, but we're going to look at that in a minute. So the OLED Steam Deck is definitely the best one you can buy in 2025. If you're new to handheld gaming, from my point of view, is definitely worth the extra cost. But if you're looking for a cheaper way into the Steam Deck ecosystem, then the LCD model is probably still a solid choice. And if you want something more powerful, well, then we're going to look at that just now. But just before we move on, another thing I want to look at
one other thing
is, what about if you've got a Steam Deck LCD? Should you upgrade to the OLED in 2025? And for me, this depends on 3 points mainly. The first one is, how much do you like the Steam Deck ecosystem and its simplicity, and how much you want to stay in that? Second point is, how much do you want the upgrade? And there's 2 points here for me mainly. One, of course, is the screen. The second one, if you should ever resell the machine, is the resale value. And thirdly, how much can you actually justify upgrading from a machine that basically already offers you, I'd say, 70% of what you get from the OLED to actually buy the OLED? And that really just depends on your budget. Oh, by the way, if it was me, if I had the LCD, I don't think I would necessarily upgrade to the Steam Deck OLED. I think I'd probably rather spend the money on a Windows device like the ROG Ally X, just to have a little bit more flexibility and actually to be able to play those games that I cannot play on the Steam Deck. Or maybe I would wait for the Steam Deck 2, which I'm waiting for in any case. So let's now look at the case of you already owning another handheld like the ROG Ally, maybe the Ally X or the Legion Go, or one of the many out there. How about then you actually getting the Steam Deck? Is that worth adding to your collection? And actually, why you might want the Steam Deck, and I say Steam Deck OLED probably, even if you have another handheld. Now, the Steam Deck with SteamOS is much more optimized, no Windows driver issues, it's just plug and play. So much more ease of use. Better battery life and cooling compared to most Windows handhelds, and probably superior ergonomics, and it's more comfortable for longer gaming sessions. And then let's see why you should stick with your current Windows handheld, and that is because generally you might get a little bit more power out of it. Windows handhelds are generally more powerful. You already have a setup that you like, and switching ecosystems might not be worth it. And well, ultimately the fact that on a Windows handheld you can play any game you want. There is no restrictions, there is no anti-cheat software or anything like that interferes with you having fun with the games. So in the end, if you love tweaking and Windows gaming, you're probably fine sticking with what you have. But if you like a more hassle-free plug-and-play console type of experience, then the Steam Deck is definitely worth considering. And then finally, should you ditch the Steam Deck altogether and just buy a Windows handheld, like for example the ROG Ally X, just to name one? And why would you want to get a Windows handheld instead of the Steam Deck? And well, that usually has to do, as we said before, with a better performance. So whether it's the Ally X, it's the Legion Go, or others out there, you have usually much better raw power in AAA games, especially with higher resolutions and frame rates. But you can play any game, there's no issues with compatibility. Since these are Windows PCs, you don't have to worry about Proton compatibility or tweaking any settings to make these games work, and they support all the launchers, whether it's Steam, Xbox, Game Pass, Ubisoft Connect, and so on and so forth. And you can install any software here, so they're like mini computers with a screen. You can do spreadsheets on it. I mean, if you want to justify the purchase, well, there you go, your Excel. Better for Game Pass users, since there's no native Xbox Cloud Gaming support on Steam Deck as well. So if you're an Xbox guy, well, that's it. Usually higher resolutions and refresh rates as well. Some of them, Legion Go, for example, 1440p, 120 Hz. That's sharper than the 800p OLED screen, as beautiful as the OLED screen is. And generally more storage, more RAM options. But why should you stick with the Steam Deck instead? Because the Steam Deck is simpler and more optimized for handheld gaming. There is no Windows bloatware there. This is Linux. So it just works perfectly, and there's better battery life due to the Steam Deck's aggressive power optimization in SteamOS, and effectively the performance per watt is better on the deck compared to these Windows handhelds, meaning there's more playtime per charge, effectively, less tinkering, more gaming, which, you know, that's what you want to do. I mean, you know that on and off concept of the Steam Deck. And ROG Ally X's Armory Crate software isn't as refined as SteamOS. Of course, you can put Bazzite on the ROG Ally, but it's a different experience altogether. Also, effectively, the Steam Deck is actually cheaper, especially if you compare to ROG Ally X level, so the newer handhelds, Windows handhelds. The Steam Deck OLED is cheaper, and arguably, at least for me, the ergonomics are probably better. There's more community support as well. The Steam Deck is widely supported by Valve, and the community custom firmware mods and accessories are just easier to find. So to cut a very long story short, you should get a Windows handheld if what you want is more power. If you want to play AAA games and you don't mind tweaking around with the settings. If you need full Windows support for non-Steam launchers, mods or productivity apps. And if you actually play a lot of Game Pass, Ubisoft Connect or Epic Game titles. But you should get a Steam Deck if you want a more hassle-free console-like experience that's just optimized for gaming. And if you actually prefer, again, compared now on the slightly older Windows handhelds, if you prefer a little bit of a longer battery life, and if you mostly play Steam games and don't want to deal with any Windows issues. In fact, the Steam Deck is perfect for you if you want a console-like PC gaming experience on a handheld. You already have a huge Steam library and want to play all your games on the go, and you love indie games, emulation and all the titles, and you travel a lot and you want a handy device that works very well for gaming on the go. And speaking of that, I'm actually working on a full video about traveling with the Steam Deck. I think you're gonna like that, so I'll put it up here once it's done. You can go and watch it. And by the way, if you're curious about that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss it. Right, so after going through all these options, what would I do personally? And what would I buy today, knowing what I know? And by the way, I really love the Steam Deck OLED. It's a great machine. It works perfectly for me. It does everything I need, and I'm very happy to keep that. But let's just say for the exercise, I wanted the absolute best handheld gaming experience out there with no budget restrictions. Well, I think I'd probably go and buy the One X Fly F1 Pro from One X Player, which is an absolute crazy OLED 144 Hz display handheld, which is super powerful. And honestly, if I'd get that, I'll probably quit my work and just play my life away. By the way, if there is anyone from One X Player out there hearing this, and if you don't mind sending a review unit, I definitely wouldn't say no. But to keep things more realistic, I'd probably go for the ROG Ally X. I'm a Mac user with no deep Windows experience, so the learning curve might be a little bit steep, but I really like what Asus is doing with the ROG Ally X. I like the fact that it's powerful, it's well designed, and it offers a great form factor. And I also appreciate Asus's marketing for the ROG Ally and the ecosystem that they are building around this. And here again, by the way, if anybody from Asus is watching this, well, you know what to do. Wink. However, if I hadn't played on the Steam Deck before and I just wanted a handheld that works flawlessly, one that delivers a great experience with minimal hassle, yes, I'd definitely get the Steam Deck OLED. At the end of the day, it all depends on what you value the most, whether it's performance, ease of use, price, raw power. You just need to find that sweet spot. But no matter what direction you go, I think 2025 and the years to come are going to be very exciting in terms of handheld gaming. Okay, then let's quickly wrap this up. If you want the cheapest way to play, the LCD Steam Deck between $350 and $450 is still a great option. But if you can afford it, then the OLED model is a massive upgrade in screen and battery life and comfort. If you already have the LCD, well, upgrade to the OLED if the screen is really worth it for you, if you mainly play handheld mode. Otherwise, stick with the LCD if you play mainly docked. If you are considering a Windows handheld, there's plenty of options out there. ROG Ally, Ally X, Legion Go, they offer more power, full Windows support, but they require a bit more tweaking. The Steam Deck OLED is much simpler, it's more optimized, and it offers a much better out-of-the-box experience. Should you wait for the Steam Deck 2? Well, I think it's not going to come out probably for another year. So if you need a handheld now, then the Steam Deck OLED is definitely your best bet. Final verdict, do you want something that works out of the box? Then get the Steam Deck OLED. If you want maximum performance, a Windows handheld might be better for you. And if you already have a handheld and you're happy with it, well then enjoy it. You can probably wait. And no matter what you choose, 2025 and the years to come, they're an awesome time for handheld gaming. And I'm sure we're going to see plenty more beautiful products to come. Right, what do you think? Are you going to buy the Steam Deck OLED? Or are you going to wait for the Steam Deck 2? Are you looking for something else? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you like this kind of content. If you do, leave me a like. If you like and you want to see more of these videos, well then subscribe to the channel and there is plenty more to come. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye bye.